Oh man, so Bitcoin has broken out of a key pattern and the technical price target is now showing as 60,000 US dollars. Let's take a look at the charts. And what we've had is Bitcoin has formed this continuation pattern. So this is on the daily chart, but if I show you on the 4-hourly chart, you will see that Bitcoin started forming this bullish pennant. So we had the flag here. It's a flag pattern, and you've got a pole here, and we entered this flag. And you can see that we were kind of upper bound by this yellow line here sitting at about 55k, but we got a really strong 4-hourly candle here that broke us through. Now, it wasn't as straightforward as that. If I just remove the EMA ribbon just to make things a little bit clearer, now you'll see here that we broke up above it on this red candle wick here. Okay, so we got to 56,550 and then we wicked all the way down. Okay, so we ended up at 54,440. So this was a big sale from a whale or a bit of a manipulation to move the price, because that's a big swing, right? When you know you're heading towards 60,000, to pick something up here closer to 54, 53 then gives you an extra growth on the 10% uplift we've had to the price target. So this was a bit of a manipulation we saw, but the dip was bought really quickly. You can see this was followed by a bullish engulfing candle. Okay, so this is called a bullish engulfing candle, which is a very bullish pattern to see in technical analysis. Now, obviously, we can tie that into a whole bunch of exciting things from a fundamental perspective. We know it's the last quarter of a 4-year cycle, and so many things are really coming together for Bitcoin. Institutional money is pouring in. Even money from altcoins is pouring into Bitcoin right now, and volumes are really high. So a lot of the on-chain metrics are showing that we're really setting up for a powerful Q4. But this was really impressive. So if we come back out here, you can see Bitcoin from the bottom of this trend line here. You can see we've made a few very impressive moves. Okay, so you made a move, and then we consolidated in a pennant exactly like this, and then we made a move and we consolidated in a channel, and then we made a move and we've consolidated again. So my conservative price target, and I've just taken this pole, but technically you can take the whole move from here. Okay, so I'll show you my conservative target, but I'll also show you my bullish target. Okay, so you put this at the point of the breakout, and we'll put that just there, and now you can see that my conservative target is sitting at 60,000, okay, which I think we're really heading to now on the breakout. However, we can also get a higher target here of 64,000, breaking through the next green resistance there as well. So the first resistance sitting at 59, 60,000, we can break through that on this current move, and even a more aggressive target of 64,000, which wipes you straight up there as well. So really powerful breakout here for Bitcoin coming out of this flag pattern and now setting us up for another continuation move, keeping up the momentum. We've still got room on the RSI, which is great. We just need these volume candles to come in like they did in this period to really start picking up and getting kind of this kind of a volume to help us out. Now, let's zoom out on the weekly to give you a bit of a zoomed out perspective on Bitcoin, and you'll see here we entered this massive wedge. Okay, and you can see we broke out of this wedge. In this period here, we had two really strong weekly candles pushing us out of this purple wedge, and now we're trending higher. Okay, so you can see this white trend line. We've tested it once, tested it twice on a weekly, and we're showing really good strength. If we pull out the weekly EMA, you can see we're very bullish amongst EMA. We came down, we tested it for a long period of time, many months here, and then we came back up. We came to try test it back, and now we're heading higher. So on a macro level, we're looking very strong. Let's bring that down to the daily to see if we get some confluence. When you can get different time frames to match up and tell you the same story, that's always a great sign in technical analysis. And we're seeing the exact same thing. Okay, we can see we flip bearish, now we flip bullish, and we're very extended from the EMA. So you can see we're just on a crazy pump right now, and we've got a lot of room between the EMA ribbon and where we're operating right now on this pump. Okay, so a lot of attention is focused on Bitcoin right now. A lot of money has flown away from altcoins. I mean, just look at this on the right hand side. Ethereum's keeping pace with Bitcoin on 4.4% move, but everything else is not really. Phantom's got a move, which I'm posting a separate video on that. Check that out. But everything else is very subdued. Okay, keep in mind, normally when Bitcoin moves, altcoins will move a multiple of Bitcoin, right? If Bitcoin's doing a 4 or 5% move like it's doing today, it wouldn't be abnormal to see some altcoins moving 10, 15, 20%, right? But we're not seeing that right now. Everybody's put their allocations into Bitcoin, and they're hoping that Bitcoin really makes this massive Q4 run. And this chart, if this chart is anything to suggest, we're in for a good run here, particularly in the short term, because we're breaking through this continuation pattern, and we're heading higher. Even on the daily, you can see how we're above our EMA ribbon. And you can see we've had 3 candles closing now above this 55,000 mark. So it's a good level of support for us. And now we can head to break the 59,000 and reach the target of 60,000 really imminently. So exciting times for Bitcoin. Now let's take a look at coin market cap just to have a glance down to see which other coins are moving right now in comparison to Bitcoin. I think that's always a worthwhile exercise to do. So we can see here that Bitcoin has, in the 24-hour period, moved 3%. Ethereum's been fairly flat, although 7 days is up 4%. This is what I'm talking about, okay? So the whole market is just kind of letting Bitcoin have its play. I mean, if anything, we're down. Dogecoin down 4%, Polkadot down 4%, Solana down 4%, 3% down. And this fits the narrative of everybody rotating across into Bitcoin. And if those of you have watched my videos, you know how I'm playing this. You know, I'm not moving any of my altcoin plays to Bitcoin. If I'm trying to add to Bitcoin as best as I can through fiat currency and building my position, but I don't want to lose out on my altcoin positions. And where possible, I want to average down in those as well, because you're getting some good prices on altcoins because they've just not moved. And once Bitcoin does its thing, you know that money's going to flow back into altcoins, and that's why you want to pick up at a bargain, because you're going to struggle to time that. Everybody's going to be doing the same thing when they're going to try to take profits on their Bitcoin after this pump is done, and they're going to try rotate away to higher percentage returns on some altcoins. So you need to be very careful, and that's why, you know, even though I've got a little bit of more experience, I won't try to time this. I want to put as much Bitcoin as I can in possible so I don't miss any of this pump, but at the same time I want to make sure I'm happy with my portfolio allocation on my altcoins as well, okay, because I want to win on both of those sides. So it's really important there. So let's take a look at a few other coins. Let's take a look at Ethereum. We can see Ethereum has, you know, similar thing. It had wick down and then had a big green candle where people have bought the dip, and now we're sitting back up at our EMA. Ethereum really needs to climb above the 3,650 mark around here. Really needs to break this resistance. You can see it created a top there and a top here. Really needs to break through that. It's been struggling, and it keeps getting pushed down by this resistance at 3,582. So Ethereum, again, you know, it's not just Ethereum. Ethereum's actually doing better than all the other coins. It's just that altcoins as a whole are moving far slower than Bitcoin, and that will be reflected in our dominance as well. So this is your Bitcoin dominance. This is on a 4-hourly. Let me switch over to a daily. You can get a better understanding of what is going on in our Bitcoin dominance chart. So you can see here for a very long time we were heading into in a downward trend from all the way back to July, 25th of July, all the way up to here in mid-September. We were in a big downward channel on the dominance, which means all coins were gaining favor versus Bitcoin. All coins were moving faster than Bitcoin. And now what you had, if I just remove this EMA ribbon so you can see it a bit clearly, you saw this breakout and a reversal back up in our dominance. And now the dominance is sitting at 45 and looking to get to the top of this wedge, which would be 48. And this just means Bitcoin is gaining strength. More money is flowing into Bitcoin. Bitcoin's market cap is outgrowing the altcoin market cap, right? It's gaining strength versus them. So this is a really important point. Now, obviously, we're nowhere near the levels we've seen up here in the 70s. That's when Bitcoin is really pumping. And the reality is we may never see those levels, because at those levels, we've got to remember historically, Bitcoin was always stronger than altcoins. But now Ethereum, Solana, a lot of these great projects have legs of their own, and therefore they're starting to decouple away from the mothership that is Bitcoin. So it's not necessarily a thing that, oh, we need to head back up to 70. What's going to happen then? We could, but it's not necessary. And right now you've got this almost double bottom pattern from a technical analysis, and that could indicate that you could have a neckline here on your dominance, and you could be heading higher as well if that came up to here. Okay, so we need to watch out for that on the dominance. But in you know, from a macro perspective, from a fundamental perspective, we know what's going on. So last quarter of a cycle, people are rotating into Bitcoin, and that's how we have it right now. People don't want to be sitting on their altcoins as we're speaking. They want to be sitting in good old Bitcoin. As we're watching, you can see Bitcoin's trying to fight for 57,444. The way it got rejected up there, now sitting at 57,328, and things are good. I mean, it feels like a long time ago that Bitcoin was sitting sitting at £28,000 when people were very worried. And I think that's why it's important to always zoom out and take perspective of where we're at. The good news now is the only people that will be suffering or taking a loss on their Bitcoin are literally those who have bought at the top. Okay, so if you're the ones who bought right at the top of Bitcoin, 63, 64, you're the ones who are in the red. But even you guys will be fine once this really tears through that. And even now, you won't be down too much. If you held on during the 28s and you tried to average down and you got a lower position, then you'll be even happier because you'll be in profits right now. If you weren't able to because you didn't have enough cash or for whatever other reason, you didn't have enough conviction, then hopefully you won't be in a massive red right now. The majority of people holding Bitcoin right now should be green, or they should be flat at least, even if they bought at the peak earlier in 2021. So it's a good sign for the market. I mean, more institutional money is flowing. You got to remember what's happening globally in the economy with Bitcoin. I will always give the caveat that we've got the CPI reading on Wednesday. Please, 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 guys, go and study that. Understand the effect that inflation can have on Bitcoin, because it's not just a case of, oh, we're going to pump and, you know, everybody on Twitter says we're going to pump. Let's do our research. Let's understand what moves this market, because a high inflation reading could be good for Bitcoin and a weaker inflation reading could lead to a slight rotation out from Bitcoin. But hopefully the volume we're seeing in the market can continue to keep us pushing higher, even if we have a slightly weaker inflation report, because we know, you know, inflation and is here for a longer period of time. We've seen that. We've seen used car prices, lumber prices continue to go up, so that should hold well for Bitcoin going forward. And anyway, guys, there's your Bitcoin update. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this type of video, then please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.